Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing great today. In today's lesson, we're going to look at creating and managing table spaces. Part of your job as a database administrator is to create table space and manage table spaces, right? This task is a critical task because you might come across situations where your table spaces get filled up. So in which case you will need to perform certain operations to either add data files or increase the size of your table space. But before we go into the core of this lecture, I just want us to take an introductory information. Now, the first thing I want you to understand is that your database has what is known as a physical storage and a logical storage. The physical storage is what you can actually see, talking about your data files, right? And then the logical storage are the things you cannot see. For example, you cannot see your table space, but you can actually see your data files. So your table space is a logical storage, and then your data files are physical storage. Now, if you look at my screen, there's a rough sketch of what your storage looks like. So let me quickly walk you through what this diagram is all about. Now, your data is stored in what is known as data blocks. So this is where it starts, right? You have your data stored in data blocks. And by default, one block has a size of 8 kilobytes. And one single data block can contain one or more rows. Now, sets of this data block is what is known as extent. So your extent is simply a combination of data blocks. And then this extent grouped together is what is known as segment. Your segment actually holds certain logical structures like your table and your indexes. And these segments are stored in your table space. Now, what is the relationship between table space and data files? Your data files actually hold your metadata. It contains database information, right? So whatever happens, please try not to lose your data files, because if you lose your data files, you already lose your database. And of course, as we know, table spaces are stored in the database. Now, it's also important to note that your data files can actually be stored in your file system, or they can be stored in your automatic storage management as configured by your database. They can also be stored in a network attached storage, or they can be stored in a storage area network. They can also be stored on a network file system. So you have different options to store your data files, which is a physical aspect of your database storage. Now remember, the topic is creating and managing table spaces. So let me just quickly pull up this. Now, there are basically 5 table spaces in your database. The first one is system. The second one is sysocs. The third one is temp. The fourth one is undo, and then users. Now, let me quickly talk about these table spaces very briefly. Your system table space is actually used to store your data dictionary. It's used for core functionality, and it belongs to the sys schema. So the user sys is the person that can actually access this table space. Now, by default, when you carry out an installation, Oracle creates the system table space automatically. It's very, very important to note that you cannot rename or drop this table space. Now, the next one is the sysocs table space. This table space acts like an auxiliary table space to the system table space, and then it helps to reduce the workload on the system table space. Just like your system table space, the sysocs table space is also created automatically when you install your database software and create your database. Now, the next table space we are going to talk about is the temp table space, more or less like a temporal table space. And what are they used for? They're basically used to manage space for database, okay, and to enhance your sort and joining operations. The next one is the undo table space. Now, this undo table space is used to roll back certain transactions or to undo certain changes to the database. Now, whenever you carry out a transaction and you have not committed, those changes will be in the undo table space for a while because sometimes these transactions could be done in error. So there might be need to roll back. And then if it's something that you intended to do, then you might need to commit. So those rollback statements you issue are made possible because of the undo table space. And then also the undo table space is used to recover the database and to help provide read consistency. And then the final type of table space we want to talk about today is the user table space. Now, this user table space stores all user objects and data. Every database should have a table space for permanent user data that is assigned to user. So every user that is created and assigned a table space will have a share in the user's table space. And there you can create your objects and every other thing you want to do in that table space. So guys, this is just a brief introduction, to table spaces. In our next lecture, we're going to look at some very beautiful examples that have to do with creating and managing table spaces. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was interesting to you. If it was, please like it and share it. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out whenever I upload another valuable content. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.